Good morning, and welcome back to Astricon. I'd like to introduce to the stage someone everyone already knows, the CEO of Digium, Denny Wyndham.
Good morning. By the way, our clicker is missing from the stage. If anyone stole it, thank you. How's everyone this morning? I'm a little tired today. I was up really late doing market research last night. I was able to put all the results together this morning, and I thought I would share some results with you. So I concluded that if you are really skilled at writing code for Asterisk or things around Asterisk, there is a 62% probability that you can play ping pong well. It's about a 58% probability you can play foosball well. It's about an 89% probability you're pretty good at video games. And there's a 2.5% probability that you can ride a mechanical bull. And for those of you who are injured this morning, Digium has no liability for mechanical bulls. I'd like to thank all of you for being here today. And, are we up? Okay. I really want to thank our sponsors. So I'd like to take a couple of minutes and thank our platinum sponsors, NetX, Polycom, our gold sponsors, GM Voices, our internet sponsors, which has been Western WireMax, as well as Televolve. And Televolve is a group of Asterisk community members who have donated their services and time for free to help us with internet connectivity during this show. Our media sponsors, TMC, No Jitter, and Internet Telephony. And so for all of the sponsors, I'd like to give them a round of applause and thanks. I'd also like to give another shout out to our Innovation Award winners. I'd also like to say that the 2010 Innovation Award competition is now open. Asterisk.org is the place to go. We saw a lot of competition for those awards this year. And so thanks to Abbott Tanal, Greenfield Tech, City of Tahquih. By the way, if you're from Alabama, that's hard to say. Telltales, House Internet, Intuit Innovations, and AirNet. So once again, a round of applause for our innovation winners. Before introducing our keynote speaker this morning, I thought it would be helpful for us to take a look back at the year and see if we've been accomplishing things, what's happened in that year, what's happening in our industry. And so I'd like to start by just looking at the market in general. So what happened to the VoIP market in the year 2009? Now, I don't know if you were actually paying attention, but between the time we were here last year and now, the entire world's economy has melted down. Hopefully, we're beyond that and on the road to recovery, but that meltdown of the economy is something that's ultimately going to be very good for Asterisk. And it's because the downturn in the economy is forcing companies to do more with less. Discretionary spending is gone. Market conditions now favor cost-effective solutions. End users are looking for a return on investment on everything that they do, and it's working to the disadvantage of premium branded solutions. The economic pressure that is the result of the market meltdown has increased the interest and awareness of open source in general. That can actually be measured. In fact, Forrester Research did so. In a study that was done early in 2009, Forrester concluded that in countries where there are large IT budgets, that the number of companies that said they were either implementing, expanding, piloting, or considering open source is the majority. In the U.S., that number is roughly 65% of all companies. And it's interesting to note that in Western Europe, the adoption rates are even higher. The adoption rates in some countries approaching 80%. So with the overall market conditions being less favorable in 2009, what sort of an impact has that had specifically on VoIP? Well, VoIP is a subset of the overall IT market. Forrester suggests that the IT spending in the U.S., 2009 versus 2008, will be down 5%. But with that as an overall IT market, there are some bright spots within that, of which VoIP is one of them. 70% of CIOs that were polled say they expect to make VoIP investments in 2009, which means that VoIP is the fourth highest area of investment in the IT market. 26% of CIOs said they see VoIP as a way to save money. So if you're looking to fund projects in a down economy, those projects that produce return on investment get money, so you spend money to actually save money. And 21% of VARs surveyed by ChannelWeb suggested that VoIP is the technology that will generate the most growth in revenue for 2009. So I realize it's now late in 2009, but I suspect all of these trends carry over into 2010 as well. While the overall market is not as healthy as it has been in the past, VoIP is a bright spot. There are a number of trends that are influencing our market and helping to create churn, creating demand. So these disruptions include some that have been long-standing. For example, traditional telephony continues its slide to give way to VoIP. Open source continues its march to disrupt proprietary alternatives. But there are a couple of newer trends that are emerging that are significantly influencing what's going on in our market. And one is the adoption rate of unified communications. In fact, unified communications as a term is something that probably could use a definition, and I don't plan to create that, but if you would just work under the assumption that unified communications is a product that works well to integrate technologies such as voice, fax, presence, conferencing, chat, and video, then the UC market today is estimated to be just below $3 billion. And by 2012, it's projected to be an $18 billion market. And I think you'll begin to see the crossing of some terms. What we have in the past called telephones kind of evolved into PBXs. And in the future, I suspect there'll be a lot of confusion. People will be buying what we have in the past called PBX or infrastructures. We'll begin calling that unified communication solutions, and the end users will be demanding this type of integration, these types of features from their communications infrastructure. 41% of VARs surveyed by ChannelWeb predicted that unified communications would be the area of most innovation and creativity over the next 12 to 18 months. Mobile, as a portion of corporate communications, is growing and will be a very significant component of how we communicate for enterprise-class applications in the future. Some of the things that are happening that's enabling this trend include the emergence of better VoIP mobile networks. So today, in fact, we're only a week and a half or so past AT&T's announcement that they're going to allow VoIP over their 3G network. But the emergence and better coverage and higher bandwidth of those mobile networks, such as WiMAX and LTE, as those networks evolve, within 10 years, the prediction is that 50% of all mobile traffic will be VoIP. Another significant thing driving demand for the types of things that we do is the emergence of smartphones. So today, the market for smartphones is roughly 15% of all mobile devices. By 2013, that's predicted to be 38%. By 2013, there are predicted to be 4 billion mobile devices in the world, and that means there will be roughly 1.5 billion smartphones. And as we carry those technologies in our pocket, we want them to be seamlessly connected to our corporate infrastructure. So there will be a lot of demand for fixed mobile convergence and features that allow you to operate from anywhere at any point with the same capabilities that you have sitting in your office. Well, if that's sort of a quick view of what's happened in the VoIP world, what's happened specifically in the Asterisk world in 2009? Well, there have been a number of things that have happened that are project-oriented that have progressed and helped Asterisk gain momentum in the marketplace. For one, these things are measurable. The download stats, the downloads of Asterisk that Digium has visibility into will grow by more than 500,000 downloads this year, up 33% over last year. The Eastern Management Group has estimated that Asterisk-based endpoints are 15% of the overall market in the U.S., which is just an incredible prediction. New developers that have signed up to join the Asterisk project, if you compare the same time period in 2009 versus 2008, is up 60%. And the core development team has begun to implement Agile and Scrum development techniques into the core Asterisk development, which helps to bring new discipline and puts projects under a sprint and review sort of methodology to try to improve the techniques and the methods by which Asterisk is developed. The project itself has seen some significant enhancements. The scalability of Asterisk today is significantly better than it was in the past. John Todd issued the 10,000 channel challenge, and we believe we have a winner. The winner provided us 3 pounds of data, of which we've only been through 1.5 pounds, so we're going to trust him that the other 1.5 pounds won't disprove that at all. But Ule has successfully, kilos, not pounds, has successfully implemented the 10,000 channel challenge, which is one instance of Astros running on a single box, 10,000 simultaneous channels, G711 media, which was based on Astros 1.4. The scalability improvements in Astros 1.6, John tells me he's considering issuing the 50,000 channel challenge in 2010. A lot of improvements in Astros to help Astros run in virtualized environments, improvements in the drivers, improvements in calendaring, improvements in EECS and the security associated with EECS, a lot of new capabilities introduced into Astros in 2009, Skype for Astros, Fax for Astros, greatly enhanced ISDN functionality for all of our European friends, HD audio support. A lot of innovations regarding the community, and Digium has actually been investing in helping to grow the infrastructure for the community and working to help grow the size of the community by doing things like the makeover of Astros.org, which was announced yesterday, with new content on the site to include job listings and documentation and all sorts of other things. The launch of Astros Forge, a project development site, collaboration site for Astros-related projects. The preview of the Astros Exchange, which is the coming marketplace for Astros products. The Innovations Awards. The amount of competition for the Innovation Awards this year was very impressive. And the expansion of Astrocon. This is the biggest and, in my opinion, the best Astrocon yet. There are more tracks. The tracks have expanded to include content for not just developers, but for end users of all sizes, small businesses, large businesses, service providers, governments, systems integrators, resellers, etc. And so because of this being the biggest and best Astrocon, I want to give a special thanks to those who have worked so hard to try to put this conference on, including Steve Sokol, John Todd, Julie Webb, and Lisa King, who, bless her heart, landed in Phoenix and drove herself to the hospital and has been there since. So a big round of applause for those people who helped put this on. Since it is Astros' 10th anniversary, I thought it would be fun just to take a look at how the world has changed as a result of Astros, and some very significant things that the people in this room can be exceptionally proud of include the fact that an entire industry has formed around Astros, which has enabled natural disaster victims to be reunited with their families thanks to Astros Space Systems, U.S. soldiers in war zones to connect with their families using Astros Space Systems, emergency care to be administered in the field between doctors and paramedics real-time using Astros Space Systems, voters in countries all over the world to be better informed and make their choices as a result of Astros Space Systems, and remote villages in Africa can now communicate with the rest of the world because of Astros Space Systems, which I think are very noble accomplishments on the part